any recruits or sales given to me ever, just like just like Eric and Jason. But what I did have is a great amount of motivation. I did have a great lifestyle growing up, and my dad provided a lot of inspiration. I saw how much he gave to churches and charities. I saw how much he made an impact on the people around him. Also, the biggest thing I saw, and I see this in this hierarchy, and I see this with y'all's great leaders, is just the love and the respect and the quality of people you're around. We had an event about a month ago at my house, and my kids were there, and usually I have the kids have babysitters, but my kids wanted to be there, and they helped serve food. They helped serve. Somebody asked if I had NSD or RVP. I am a senior national sales director, Kayla. So I am an SNSD. Thank you for asking. I almost took a demotion there, Caleb, but I'm glad I'm a senior national sales director. We have 33 regional vice presidents now in our organization. We have over 1,000 licensed agents in our organization. This is all the stuff that I've built personally outside of my dad, which has been amazing. And so I love our group. But my point of that is the kids. Just they're serving. They're around our team. They're around everybody. They want to be around. The way that they treated my kids and the way that my kids treated them is just truly something special. This is a business that a lot of times places that we've maybe worked before or people that we're around, we don't really want our kids to be around them. You know what I'm talking about? We don't know what they're going to say, how they're going to act, if they're going to cuss, if they're going to, say certain things that are weird, and so in this business, it's totally the opposite. I want my kids around my team. And more importantly, I want my team around my kids. I want them around me and my wife because I want them to see how I treat her on a day in and day out basis. I want to see how I want them to see how I treat my kids on a day in and day out basis and the relationship that we have, because I think this business is not just about building and developing leaders, but it's building and developing people for long-term purposes. It's about teaching, training, developing people to be superstars in Primerica, to be great leaders in Primerica, but also more importantly, to be great people with a high amount of integrity. That's exactly what y'all's hierarchy has. I've seen that over hierarchy after hierarchy. And what I've always known about the Ortiz hierarchy is that there's an incredible amount of integrity. There's an incredible amount of love for each other. And they're just amazing, amazing people. It's funny. It's not just because that we were, that me and Jason and Eric, that we all played sports or that we were second generations, that we gravitated to each other. It was just the type of people I think that us three are, just immediately gravitated to each other in this business. And that's how we became so close. And I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of you guys, not only with them, but the people around you. And so what I want to start off with, I know we got a lot to cover in a short period of time. I love how y'all do this on Friday mornings because I think going into the weekend, we always talk in my hierarchy about being weekend warriors. Does that make sense? Weekend warriors. I don't know about y'all, but I love the weekends. Raise a hand. You can raise your hand. How many of you guys like the weekends? You like weekends, right? Especially, I love the weekends now. You know why? Because football starts tomorrow. Okay, college football starts, and you got pro football. Even though I played college basketball and I played basketball my whole life, man, I love football season. And so I just get excited about the weekends, but I always tell my team all the time, what if your attitude on a Monday was the way it is every Saturday, right? We just got back from a beach trip. I took my top 35 leaders to the beach for 4 days, and we had a great time together and stuff, did a bunch of stuff. But my question I always ask them, because we did a session on Saturday, a goal and vision casting session. And I asked them, I said, how do y'all feel this morning? Everybody said, great. They're all excited. Why? We're about to have a great day, a lot of fun. It's a Saturday. I said, let me ask you, what if you felt every Monday morning the way that you feel today? And a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by that? I'm talking about the energy, waking up, doing what you're doing, the excitement, the passion. That's what you got to get every Monday, every Tuesday. And the thing that attracts so many people about Primerica is that whenever they're at their job, they will never get that excitement, joy, and passion at their jobs as they will with this great company, right? They'll never have that because see, when you're working for somebody else, you're building somebody else's business, and a lot of you guys have heard that before, you're just simply not going to have the same amount of joy and passion and excitement as if you're building your own business. So when you're waking up on a Monday, you got to train yourself to have that same energy and passion, even if you're having a down week, even if you haven't set up any appointments. And one of the first tips I can tell you today is that when we talk about being weekend warriors in our business, and I'm really starting this off because it's a Friday, you understand that what you do over the weekend, what you do for really Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sets you up tremendously for what's about to happen the following week. Let me give you an example, okay? And I see, let's see here. I see Brendan. I mean, is it Brendan? Brendan? Is that your name? Okay, I see Brendan on here, all right? Let's use Brendan and let's see, Miss Wright. Is that right, Miss Wright? Okay, Miss J. Wright. All right, so I'm gonna use Miss Wright and Brendan. So if I was to say, okay, here's we got two different people right now, and I hope you're really paying attention to this because this is important for the mindset and the growth of your business. Okay, if we got Brendan and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all Brendan does is just kind of hang out. He talks to his team a little bit, but he's not setting up any appointments for next week. He's just kind of chilling, relaxing, watching football, having some drinks. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff, just to let you know, okay? But let's just say that's the only thing he's doing. So Monday morning rolls around, and do we do, I see Brent, can you give me do y'all do a training Monday morning? Yes or no? Y'all do trainings Monday morning? Okay, great. So we're rolling into training on Monday morning. All right, we're going into training on Monday morning, and guess what happens? Brendan is excited about training, but probably not as excited about that week, right or wrong, okay? Because why? He doesn't have anything set up. So he wakes up Monday morning, okay? There's no form of excitement. Maybe there's no form of, he's not has a lot to look forward to that week. So maybe he's a little down. He starts to think negatively about certain things. He starts to have doubt, okay? He maybe then at that point in time starts to blame certain reasons or justify why he doesn't have appointments or blame the area, blame his uplines, blame whoever. And therefore that leads to what? A week of probably not very much production. Okay, does that make sense? And also not very much production, but not a great mindset. And typically when you have a bad attitude and a bad mindset, you tend to not do what, guys? You tend to not do anything. Think about that. The times where you act the most is whenever you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of excitement typically. So now let's move over to Miss Wright. Miss Wright goes, and she does a lot of work this weekend, okay? She may not close a lot this weekend, but she sets up 5 to 10 appointments. She sets up 3 to 5 interviews. She's got a couple closes, a couple carrybacks, right? Along with all the great training that y'all do. So now what is, y'all post in the chat, what do y'all think Miss Wright is on Monday morning? How is Miss Wright's attitude? If y'all don't mind, I don't do the whole posting in the chat all the time, but what do y'all think? If y'all tell me what her attitude and her demeanor is like on Monday. She's elated. She's
energetic. Right? Energetic.
What's that?
Energetic.
Very energetic. Yes, thank you. So energetic, fired up, ready to go, all those things. Okay. So if she's, but why is that? It's because of the work and the what, guys? The preparation that she did over the weekend then creates what? It creates a certain attitude, certain mindset, certain feeling on Monday morning. So then what is she probably going to do? She's probably going to capitalize off that momentum on Monday by setting up more appointments, by getting more referrals, by treating her team better, okay? By saying the right words. I'm gonna talk about that in here in a second, okay? So Miss Wright's got a good team, but Brendan's got a good team. But guess what? Miss Wright is going to do a better job that week of motivating the team. She's going to communicate more with the team. She's going to help the team more. If there's issues or problems, she's probably going to handle them in a kinder, better manner that helps them moving forward, where Brendan might have a bad attitude and might lash out or snap on his team because he's not in the right headspace. Do y'all see how those two things? So just simply over time, I always call this a week-to-week business. This isn't a day-to-day business or a month-to-month business, although it is to some extent. But I always tell people this is a week-to-week business. Okay, anybody can mess up in one day. Anybody can mess up in 2 days. And also a month is too long to look at how much you can mess up or not mess up. This is a week. You might have we talk about that in football or basketball. You might have a bad play, but you better not have 2 or 3 bad plays in a row. Does that make sense? You better respond from that and react. That's what those weeks should look like. And that's what the mindset should be of a champion in this business. And I was listening to, kind of go to the next point. I was listening to a podcast a second ago, and it talked about the power of words. Okay. The power of words. And so let me give you this example. All right. Let's say I've never had, this is God's honest truth. I have never tasted or smoked a cigarette. I don't know how you would explain this. Somebody can help me, but I've never tasted or smoked a cigarette in my life. Okay. I've never done it. Okay. There's no whatever. If you do, I'm just saying I have never done it. Okay. I don't know if it's because I'm an athlete or I thought my dad would kill me. Doesn't really matter. I've just never done it. Okay. But so if I lit up a cigarette right now, and y'all know that I've never smoked before, right? But I started to do it and say, how am I my first smoke right here? What would a lot of y'all start doing? What would y'all say? You can post in the chat. Y'all would probably start saying, no, stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Does that make sense? Why? Because you wouldn't want me for several reasons, hopefully. But if you knew me and we were all friends, like a lot of us are, you would be like, no, don't start that now because it could lead to what? It could lead to what, guys? It could lead to addiction. It could lead to cancer. It could lead to all that stuff. Okay. But on the other side of that, okay, on the other side of that, if I also want y'all to know I've never had a Snickers in my life. Okay. I've also never eaten a Snickers in my life. Now, some of you guys now are like, something's wrong with this guy. Okay. I've never had a Snickers in my life. But if I said, you know what, guys, I've never had a Snickers in my life, and I said, oh, I'm going to eat the Snickers, a lot of you would go, what? Go ahead and try that freaking Snickers. It's awesome. Okay. Go ahead and try that thing. Have at it, right? Knowing, somebody actually funny just posted that in the chat of this speech, that and saying that, diabetes causes 3 times more deaths now than smoking does. Okay. And also, I want to let y'all know, so for some of you that are wondering why I'm weird and haven't tried the Snickers, I'm allergic to peanuts. So that's why I have never tried Snickers. Okay. I could have used something else. All right. But now here's the fact of the matter with that. Okay. What I just tell y'all with all that stuff, right? Diabetes. Those stats are not true, what I just said. Okay. Now, I am allergic to peanuts, and I've never had a cigarette. But the fact of the matter is diabetes does not cause 3 times the amount of deaths as smoking does. But the way that I just said it and the story that I just told it, how many of you guys, as a show of hands, believed what I was saying? You believed what I was saying, okay? Right? Some of you guys knew the facts and you knew I was lying. But majority of you said, you know what, dang, I didn't realize that. Okay, you know why? Because when I was listening to the podcast this morning, he basically told the same story. And I was like, dang, I didn't really realize that. But you know what, guys? He said it with so much conviction, and he said it with humor, and he said it with a story that I was like, man, I believe it. And you know what I really want you to realize there is that in this business, when you get convicted on what you're doing, when you say things with conviction, would you agree your words matter? Okay. Your words matter whenever you're talking to clients. Your words matter when you're talking to your team. Your words matter whenever you're talking to your downlines or your uplines. These are some things that are very important. I think we're very skilled at a lot of things in this business. But one of the things, and I'll tell you this over and over again with the whole Ortiz family, but obviously I've gotten very, very close to Jason and Eric. What I see in Jason and Eric, and also Brent and Jackie, is that they are they have so great at their people skills. They are so friendly. They are so kind. They're obviously very energetic. I know they hold people accountable, but also their people skills are off the charts. And that's what makes them so successful. Also, their conviction of what they're doing is off the charts. When you combine somebody with great people skills that are convicted, man, the sky is the limit for that person in leadership. So that's why I really encourage a lot of you guys is, you know what? We got to get a heightened level of conviction for what we're doing. And whenever I revert back to conviction, okay, guys, and I'll start to wrap up here. When I go back to conviction, I tell people this all the time, is that what drives somebody in this business? I was talking to my leaders at the beach the other day about being laser focused, right? And about being present in their business. There's just something important about a present leader, somebody who's there to help out. No matter if you're, what I tell my team all the time, even though I'm on vacation, I went to London and Paris for 9 days with my wife for her 40th birthday about a month ago. It was the best trip of my life for sure. But even when I was there, guys, even though there was a time difference, there was 3 or 4 of those days that I showed my team that I was present and available for at least 3 or 4 hours. You know why? Because they got to see a leader present and engaged. Okay. Now, Lindsay was doing other things, right? She was in the spa, stuff like that. So it wasn't time taken away from her. She was sleeping one of the other times. Okay. 2 of the other times because of the time difference. But you know what? I wanted to make sure that I was still present and visible. Now, what does that also tie into as I start to wrap up here? Is let me ask you a question. How many of you guys, as a show of hands, okay, or you can post it on the chat or put us on, it doesn't matter what you do, but how many of you guys would say you're truly going after a goal right now? Show of hands. How many of you guys are truly going after a goal, not just kind of, but truly. Okay. And that could be, you know what that is, guys? That could be something you want to accomplish before the big event coming up here in about a month. Okay. A month and a half. You might want to accomplish something before then. Maybe there's something you want to accomplish before the end of the year. I don't know what that is, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit, and also at the event. But what I've found is that when are people the most focused and the most engaged in their business? It's number one when they're going for something. So my all question has always been throughout my whole career, right? I've always wanted to go after something, whether it was RVP, then the $100,000 ring, then the $200,000, the second diamond, right? Then the third diamond, then SVP, then the fourth diamond, then fifth diamond, then NSD, then SNSD, right? Sixth diamond, now the million, the ruby. All those have always been something I've kept in front of me, because we've always heard that theory is that whenever you climb a mountain at some point in time, you got to go down to the bottom of the mountain and climb the next one, and the bigger and the better one. Okay. Me and my kids, we just booked a big ski trip yesterday. I'm so excited. I love skiing. Okay. I didn't love skiing until about 2 years ago. Okay. Eric, Jason, I don't know if we talked about this. Brent, I don't know if you guys ski, but I did not like skiing, snow skiing. I was terrible at it. I could not ski. First time I went, I basically fell down the mountain. Okay. I was so embarrassed. There was like 9-year-olds, 8-year-old girls like just skiing by me like crazy. And I was falling down and tumbling down this mountain. I've never been more embarrassed in my life. But you know what happened, guys? The more I did it, the better I got, the higher the mountain I wanted to climb, and the more difficult I wanted to go and see what I could accomplish. Okay. Now I've done it a bunch and I'm actually really, really good. Okay. But that's beside the point, is that every time you go up that mountain on that lift, okay, or you climb a mountain, however you want to look at it, and you get to the bottom, you have a choice. Okay. When you get to the top, you have a choice of saying, you know what? It's time for me to attack a new mountain, something else I want to go for. And you know what? If you stay at the top of that mountain without movement, without trying to go for another goal, a lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to stay very stagnant. Okay. I've had that happen in my business. A lot of people have had that happen in your business. And the last thing you want to have in a business is to be stagnant. And so the first thing you got to look at as we wrap up today is, what are you going for? And the next thing is, what are you looking forward to? I always ask that. You know, the biggest things that gives people energy in life is, what are they going for and what are they looking forward to? I tell people that all the time. It's one of the main questions. People probably get annoyed from me asking that. But you know what? I find the people with the greatest amount of joy, the greatest amount of energy. I always tell people, you don't need a 5-hour energy drink. You don't need a Monster. You don't need a Celsius. You don't need 700 cups of coffee. You need something that you're looking forward to, and you need something that you're what? Going after. You know what's funny? Guys? Sorry, Siri heard me, okay? You know what's funny is that the week before we went on the beach trip, it was amazing, all of their energy and their excitement, and how much production my team got done right before we left to go to the beach trip. You know why? Because they were looking forward to a what? They were looking forward to something. And a lot of them were going after something, because we have a big event here in a couple of weeks. So my question to you, and I think one of the biggest things that stops depression, one of the biggest things that stops people from being lazy or stagnant, are those two things. What are you looking forward to? What are you going after? Right? I mean, even if it's a date weekend or a date night with your spouse, even if it's taking your kids to somewhere, something that you're planning 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead, so you can work and stay focused on that, but also in the back of your mind knowing, man, I got this to look forward to. But then at the same time, what are you going after? And are you truly going after a goal? I would get with your upline today, and I want to see how many of you guys can accomplish huge and big things between now and that event when we come up there in October, right? What can be accomplished? Your business can look totally different. Okay, I see Ray on here, right? I see Kayla, Melissa, Ray. Y'all's business could look totally different in a month and a half. When we see each other at Tampa, it could be totally different then than it looks like now. That's the conviction, the excitement that a lot of you guys have. You know what's going to happen? I guarantee this is going to happen. There's going to be some leaders on here that are dominating right now. And there's going to be some other leaders on here that are maybe at 2x2, 3x3, 5x5. But by the time the event rolls around, you're going to do more, okay, in maybe those first 10 days of October than you would have done the whole entire month of September. You know why? It's all about momentum. It's all about creating that momentum, creating that excitement, creating that growth. And also the last thing is getting people on your side and having the right mindset. Here's what I mean by that. Okay. I just told y'all a second ago that we were in London and Paris. And I think y'all like the story as I wrap up. And if there's anything y'all want me to go over, answer any questions, I'd be happy to, but I'll start here. Is that we were in London and Paris, and we were there during July the 4th. Okay. Everybody know what July 4th is? Everybody know what that is in America? Okay. Okay. July 4th, obviously in America, is Independence Day, right? Well, guess what, guys? When we were I was wearing my USA shirt in Paris. This was right before the Olympics and stuff like that. I think everybody thought I was like a pole vaulter or not a pole vaulter. They're small. What am I like a what are those guys? Something cool. Anyways, a track athlete or maybe a basketball. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But anyways, I was wearing my USA stuff and it was Independence Day. And but you know what was not going on over in Paris? There was no fireworks being popped. Nobody, when I walked around, not one person in Paris said Happy 4th of July, Happy Independence Day. There was no barbecues. There was no hamburgers and hot dogs over there. There was no celebration, right? There was no American flags flying all over the place. And guess what, guys? You know why? Because we were in a totally different place. We were a totally different country. Those people could care less about what? About Independence Day. Because why? They were just, they're French. They're from Paris. Majority, I mean, there's a lot of different things, but they didn't care at all. And you know what I thought about at that time is that a lot of you guys, you're fighting for your own independence. You're fighting for your own goals and stuff here. And a lot of times people at other places, other jobs, they're not in your family. They're not going to care. They're not going to support you. They're not going to be on your side because they're in a totally different place than you are. You're going for great things in your life. You're going for financial independence. You're going to build an amazing business. You're going for the different way of thinking, a different way of acting, a different way of treating your spouse and your kids, and a different way of leading your life in a certain direction. Where we were all doing certain things. Me and Lindsay thought it was going to be a certain way in Paris, but nobody cared. But you know what? It was fun. We still had a great time, and we stayed in our own bubble over there that day and enjoyed the great day, knowing that the things that really matter the most are the people around you. Okay. And I told her that I was like, babe, as long as you like Independence Day, as long as we have fun together today, I don't really care I don't really care about anything else around us. And I think that's the most important thing right now moving forward is where are you currently at in your business? And what can change between now and when we see each other in October? The answer is a ton, but you have to know who's on your side. Okay, number one, you got great leaders here on this Zoom. They're on your side. Your uplines are on your side. Your downlines are on your side. We got to galvanize and be present for them this next month and a half, bigger and better than you've ever done it before. See, guys, and I promise you the next month is the most crucial in your business, the most crucial ever. Why is that? Because usually it takes 3 to 5 weeks from when you start putting out effort and energy for things to start to come to fruition in this business. I tell people that all the time. You're not going to go to the gym tomorrow, do some sprints and workouts, and you're going to wake up the next day with a six-pack and you just lost 30 pounds. Can we all agree to that? It usually takes 3 to 5 weeks for you to start seeing legitimate results when you do something like that. Okay. It is the exact same thing in Primerica. When you start prospecting today, when you make those phone calls this weekend, when you do what, like I talked about, and you're a weekend warrior this weekend, your business isn't going to explode on Monday. Sorry to tell you guys that, but it's just not going to explode on Monday. It's not going to explode on Tuesday. Now, you might find your explosion on Monday and Tuesday, but you're not going to be a weekend warrior this weekend and all of a sudden you're going to write 40,000 in premium next week. That just simply doesn't happen. Now, can it happen in 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now? Absolutely it can. You can go from little to big in a very, very short period of time, but it is going to take that laser focus like we talked about. And it's going to take you being a weekend warrior this weekend and having a specific goal of what you want to accomplish between now and that event in October that it's going to be just a fantastic, fantastic event, right? And so, guys, I hope that helped a little bit. I know there's a certain direction, but I always love hopping on here and spending time with you guys. And I hope that just those quick tips on this Friday morning helped out a little bit. I know I can't wait to see you guys. This is such a powerful, powerful team, such a powerful organization. So if there's anything I can go over I see you peeking in there, my dude. But if there's anything I can go over, I also see that basketball goal in Bren's. You see if y'all in Bren's. There you go. It's that basket. I see that. We got that in our house too. I love it, Mr. Ed. What's up, my man? I see y'all training those kids to play a real sport, playing some basketball. I love that. I love that. That's what I like to see.
Man, Blake, I appreciate you, man. Give it up for Blake, man. Give it up for Blake. I did have one question for you. And this is a question that we always ask our guest speakers. We have a ton of people in this room and on this Zoom that it may be their first 30 days, maybe their first 60 days, or maybe they're just really they're stagnant. What's some advice you can give them to change that around as soon as possible? In your experience, in your last 15, 16, 18 years in Primerica, what is something that you've seen that somebody can apply immediately to get that change going for them? What would you say?
Yeah, great question. Stagnicity doesn't change, as I talked about even a second ago, over a day or two. It takes first of all, it takes the right mindset, okay? So if you're stagnant, you have to have the mindset of understanding that it's going to take you about a week to 10 days potentially to get out of that stagnicity, if that's a word. I believe it is. Okay. Why? Now, what's the second thing you got to do? The second thing you got to do in any of that is going back to certain basics of this business. Okay. What did you do? Now, a lot of times people get stagnant, and my guess would be after, maybe 2 or 3 months after they get licensed, after they've seen a certain amount of clients. So my first thing that I always do, is that I would go and I get directly with some clients of mine. I go get with my agents and I let them know, hey, here's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm looking to accomplish this goal in this period of time. And I'm going to go all in on making that happen. So I go back to clients. Okay. I'll go back to clients and I'll say, hey, hey, I'm looking for a big promotion over the next month or so. And I'm looking for some people to help in the same manner in which I helped you. And then I get specific. I say, do you know anybody that just had a child? Do you know anybody that just left a job? Or do you know anybody that just got married in the last 3 to 6 months? So I get very specific and then they'll give me those answers. Then I ask, hey, do you know, I actually did this funny. Eric, I did this 2 days ago. I said, hey, we're going through a rapid expansion of my business. I reached out to a lot of my clients and I said, hey, look, I'm only reaching out to clients for this because typically my clients send me the best people. And I want to know if you know anybody that's looking for some part-time income in the I didn't even say the financial business, but I said the part-time income or potentially a career change. And so right there, I'm just reaching out to warm market people that I've helped to get those quick appointments set up. The second thing I would do is I would put myself in for 10 days. And y'all have heard this a lot, but I would put myself into target rich environments. Does that make sense? I put myself into target rich environments. What does that mean? I put myself in a gym the most as I possibly can. Right? I put myself in a gym. I put myself in, in church. I put myself around my kids, different parents, schools, different stuff like that. And I try to connect with people that I can go meet with for coffee or lunch or at my office. That's the second thing I do, right? And then the third thing I do is I go back and I follow up. In my phone, I go through all my text messages. I go through all my lists, my client list, my to-do list. I go back on my client manager. I go to all those things and I reach back out to people that maybe I forgot about or maybe it wasn't the right timing, okay? Those are all the main things. When people get stagnant, now, we all know this too, Eric, is that if people are stagnant, okay, if people are stagnant, then they simply don't have, obviously, majority of things going on. But what is the quickest way to get things going on? Is to go recruit 1 or 2 or 3 people and train them in their warm market. So that's the first thing I would tell them. Hey, who are 2 or 3 or 4 people that I can help you go recruit that we can get in their warm market and get you busy fast enough, okay? And then the last thing, and which I think is the most important thing, because my dad did this with me, but let's see, who can I get on here? Okay, I'm using it. Let's say Carl. Okay, Carl. I see Carl on here. If Carl's business is stagnant, okay, and he works directly with me, I would say, Carl, here's what I want you to do the next week. Everywhere you go, anywhere you went, I want you to go talk to people, go prospect, go meet people. Doesn't have, it could be warm, cold, doesn't matter if it's at the gym, restaurant, doesn't matter. Okay. And I want you to tell people that you're helping me expand. Simply all I want you to do. Next 7 to 10 days. I want to see how many names and numbers you can send to me. I want Carl to say, hey, I'm helping one of my buddies. He owns a very successful financial firm. I almost said something else. Sorry. A very successful financial firm. Successful. Okay, there we go. Anyways, very successful financial firm here in wherever you live, Tampa, whatever it is. Okay. And he is expanding and looking for people part-time and full-time. And I'm helping him expand his business. I don't know if it's something you're interested in, but if so, let me grab your number. I'll forward it to him and he'll call you to set up an interview. It's called the third-party recruiting script. We use that all the time. Third-party recruiting script to get people out. I'll go over that when we come up there as well too in details on how that works and how I call them. But then I would just, let's say Carl gets Vicky's number and I'll say, hey, Vicky, this is Blake Whittle. Carl gave me your number. I think he met you at Starbucks. Hey, I own a big financial firm here in the city and we're expanding a lot. And he spoke highly of you. I don't know if it would be a good fit for you, but I would love to sit down with you tomorrow, the next day, or do a Zoom with you tomorrow, the next day, to see if it's something you might be interested in and vice versa. Are you free to do a quick interview tomorrow, the next day? Okay. So guess what I'm doing? I am taking the bull by the horns for people in my business that are stagnant, if that makes sense. That's what I do a lot of times because I want them to succeed. I want them to win, right? And I know if they do that, then I'm going to get more, I'm going to get busy as well too. So I think those are very, but probably the most important things right there, bud. If that makes sense. There we go.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, man, give it up for Blake, bro. Give it up for Blake. That was incredible, guys. Listen, that is just a small, and I feel so bad. I want more of his time, man. Obviously, build the hierarchy of the family, right? But that is just a little glimpse of what we're going to get at East Coast Builder School. All right. That's a little glimpse of it. And one of the things that he did say is that he's going to go over the third-party recruiting script with us. He's going to go over how to build a big hierarchy. And we don't want to miss out, man. We don't want to miss out. In fact, what I want you guys to do, I know Atlanta's plugging into the builder school at home office, right? But I want you guys to put in the chat, right? How many people, because I know you guys are going. I know everyone in the chat is going as well too. Right, I know everyone here is going to the builder school, but I want you to put in the chat how many people are you going to take with you, right? It can't just be one or two. I'll put a guideline for you. If you're a district leader, minimum you should have 5 people going with you, right? If you're a division leader, you should have minimum 8 people. If you're a regional leader, 10 people. If you're an RVP, you should have 20 people going. All right, those are minimum guidelines for this event. Now, are there people that are going to bring more? Absolutely. Are those low numbers? Maybe, right? But go ahead and go more than the minimum. We're not a minimum hierarchy. We're an exponential hierarchy, all right? So we need more. We need more. We need more. We need more. Trust me, the people you want there are going to grow and are going to get better because of the teachings that the Whittle family is going to give us and the Collis family is going to give us as well, too. All right. Not to mention all the other guest speakers that are going to be talking as well. All right. Y'all good? Yeah. Hey, man, put a 1 in the chat. Say thank you to Blake, man. Put a 1 in the chat, man.
Thank you guys very much. Y'all are the best. Can't wait to see y'all here very soon. Let's rock and roll. Can't wait to see where y'all's businesses are going to be, and we'll light it up when we get there. See you guys. Great seeing you, my man. You look awesome. Brand, Eric, love you guys. Mr. Ed, I see you over there. Love y'all. We'll see y'all soon.
All right, brother. All right, guys. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
I want one of those hats too. That's all. My biggest goal is to get one of those hats, Mr. Ed.
We'll get
fedora.
We'll get you one. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So, hey, like Blake said, man, let's have an awesome weekend. Let's have an awesome Friday. This is not a weekend. This is just for your strong end. All right. So let's go out there and do something big because y'all know who we are. We are. Hey, there it is. Oh.